Hello there, welcome to Movies Are Real for the month of September 2018. I am your host, George Cruz. I am here with Ryan Lance. Ryan, how are you?
What up, dog?
Venom!
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 Venom power.
Carrie, you're here. How are you, Carrie?
I'm a little sick, but I am so ready
Dedicated.
to discuss these films.
Dedicated.
You know what, sick Carrie Venom?
Oh, man. Dedicated to our viewers. This is the Monthly Movies Podcast where we gather and talk about the movies of the month prior and what we're looking forward to the next month. This is the episode for September 2018. Folks, it's almost over. I realized that last week, end of the year is, coming.
Thank God. There's not, I don't know, not a great year overall, I feel.
In general,
overall. Movie-wise, just the world-wise.
There was some, there's nothing I feel passionate about, but there's stuff that I
Lindsay Lohan
recognize.
got beat to shit out of.
Oh,
That was
boy.
pretty funny.
All right. Best surprise of 2018. Worst.
Lindsay Lohan Instagram Live.
Oh, yikes. Anyways.
Director.
But this isn't our Lindsay Lohan podcast. This is our monthly movie podcast.
That's the one where we discuss,
all the updates on Lindsay Lohan. We had the What episode in 2004.
Whatever that. I was going to mention that movie where she's a stripper and she has, a ghost.
What about when she was in Herbie Fully Loaded?
That
That was her,
That's
right?
a movie, yes.
I've not seen that
Or
movie.
she was... Did she... Never mind. We're
She
getting...
played twins in two different movies. The one when she was a kid and one was scary,
Parent
right?
Trap.
Yeah, fucking who cares?
Oh, excuse you. That movie's iconic.
You say that any movie.
No.
Venom of iconic.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
But yeah.
Probably.
You see that tongue?
I mean,
No.
you need to stop.
Anyways, our list here is we're starting out very heavy loaded. It's just gonna go downhill from here. It's like there's a landslide, folks. So, Mandy, we talked about it last episode, how much we're excited for. This is the Phanos Cosmatos. How you pronounce this?
Panos Cosmatos?
Phantos Cosmatos.
Panos.
Pantos.
We have pronounced
Pantos.
it differently every time.
Panos.
Like Phampy.
P-A-N-O-S.
Like the Pokemon.
Like
Panos.
Uh-huh.
No
Director of, oh my god,
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Or something like
Starring Nicolas Cage. A lot of hype because this seems like such a extremely out there role for Nicolas Cage and the movie itself. So yeah, is there really much, because the story, I feel like letting folks know what's it about, I don't know if it does much for you. I think the best way to sell it, I feel like it's a really abstract movie that's really visually striking, and it's also a role that Nicolas Cage just completely owns, and it really feels like it's kind of built around for him. But yeah, Carrie, do you want to explain the setup for it? Because I forgot a little bit of it because it's been a minute.
Basically, it's this couple played by Nicolas Cage and Andrea Rosenborg, and they live in this kind of woodland utopia, the two of them, and they're pretty isolated. And Mandy is walking down the street, and a van full of cult members passes her.
Right.
And
Do we have a time frame for this?
it's probably a week or something.
No, I mean is it current day or?
Oh, I think it's supposed to be present day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
because I think
maybe or maybe not.
Well, just because,
actually. I think it might
feels
be
very
80s.
yeah.
and I think mostly because
especially some of
that's
the visual
right.
stuff feels
And,
very
the
inspired
movie
by the
that they're
80s
watching,
and
yeah.
the kind of I don't know. They live out in the middle of nowhere, so it's hard to really understand.
it was that and the fact that
and all the TV that they were watching and stuff.
right, and you're about to say a cult leader sort of picks her out to sort of be, I'm gonna say, a victim, but
he sees her as some sort of 1983 is when
Okay.
this takes place. He sees her as some sort of special being incarnate for his cult and his agenda.
and that's why I mentioned it, what time frame, because I think of cults, I think of around 70s, 60s, 80s. That's a big time frame, but somewhere around
that's
there.
That's really where cults were at
those 30 years right
those
there.
iconic cults.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, he sort of sees her as
he decides that he needs her, and he sends these mutated drug demon things. They were human at one point, but he sends them to like pick up Mandy and capture her, and then when she doesn't behave the way he wants, she ends up getting bit. She bites it, and so then the rest of the movie follows Nicolas Cage kind of going off the walls, dealing with that grief, and hunting revenge.
And so you laid that story out, and I think that's why I had issues sort of laying this movie out and like doing it justice, because I think the setup for it just sounds like any B-grade Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, it just sounds like a standard
this is Bangkok
movie.
Dangerous fucking yeah. But it's the way it is shot. It is the color of it. It is the performances of it. It is
the sound design.
The sound
just
design
for me. Got me into it. Yeah.
It is the specific creative decisions made that make this thing stand out so much. And so yeah, I don't. It's not really like you mentioned, like these sort of like demon hell minions.
Yeah, they were very Cenobite inspired.
Yeah, and like the way you just describe it, I think if for a listener who like has no context for what this movie looks like, it's just like, wait, what are you talking about? Does this movie take place in like reality? It's like, kind of. It takes place in a reality where like
they like
it's a reality where Nicolas Cage is fucking thriving.
They're not. Yeah, because there's like some weird fantasy elements.
Right.
Because she always is reading those books and talking about warlocks and stuff, and they have to fucking summon those guys with the fucking ocarina out in the middle of the forest in the middle of the night. It's like, what the
But the movie starts off like just normal, and then there's not a certain point where like the switch flips dramatically. Like it just kind of happens.
I'd say that it like goes up to like very like weird like visual kind of madness, and then like there is the switch after like she's
I think
gone.
there's a distinct switch.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I think it's
like it starts as like a dimmer switch, but then it's like just cranking it all the way up. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the moment where he has the breakdown in the bathroom where he's drinking all the vodka and losing his mind, which I thought was pretty powerful because it's a funny Nicolas Cage breakdown scene, but when you like watch it, it's actually very powerful and emotional, and he's like, that's his way of like, because he's been up until that point in the film, he's been like almost silent and like
he's really toned down Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he's very chill and not a man of many words, and so then once the one thing that mattered to him is gone, he just fucking loses his mind. And I also think that once the title card of Mandy pops up like 1 hour into the movie, I was like, okay, now the movie's starting.
Yeah. I saw that coming too. I felt like this movie's gonna do it.
I felt that shift right like a little bit before that. You're gonna think I'm like joking, but like I'm honest about it. Like when he looks at the TV and Cheddar Goblin's on the TV.
Oh my God, Cheddar Goblin is the signal of things are going
because
wrong.
Like even like the like kind of like there's a little bit of like horror aspects to like what happens before that thing happens, but it feels very like actual torture and not like the craziness that comes later. Yeah. Like he looks at the TV and this crazy fucking Cheddar Goblin commercial's playing, and then he goes into the bathroom and has his meltdown. Like that really is like 0 to 50.
No, you're totally right.
It has this like weird like gag of like this nonsense weird commercial after like he
it's like an
just witnessed like the worst thing anyone could possibly have gone through.
It's very purposely jarring, and it kind of gives you permission to laugh at the movie, I feel like, because like this horrible emotional scene of him like grieving his wife, and he just walks in and he like finds her shirt on the ground, and he's like clutching it to him, and then the TV cuts to commercial, and it's this fucking puppet vomiting copious amounts of macaroni on screaming children.
And then it just cuts to him, and he just like stared like, ugh.
And then he just really quietly to himself says, "Cheddar Goblin."
But yeah, you got a point there, Ryan. I didn't even think about it, because that maybe might be the switch, because The violence before that moment is treated very serious and really dire.
The demons are there.
Yeah,
and, like, that's weird, but like they don't do anything that's particularly like out there in those scenes. It just feels like horrible torture.
Yeah, and the violence we see later on is incredibly like it's bad, but at that point we have the context like, okay, now we're going to like sort of have a little bit of fun with this.
Yeah.
I think they really wanted to like set in like, okay, like here's how much this
we need
person
to like
the
have
character.
a massive tonal shift.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then do another massive tonal shift.
But yeah, I guess now that we're sort of like laid what this movie out is, I wanted to touch on. Do we think this movie is overindulgent, or I already know how I feel. I think a lot of us here feel like it hits the tone just right, but I just want to have that conversation. Is it too overindulgent, or does it hit that Nicolas Cage just like bonkers fucking buck wild doing cocaine? Just yeah.
It really depends on like the person, because like you could like,
there are moments for me that didn't work.
You could be hot for like either of the tones. I could see like the early stuff that's all very slow and just kind of hypnotic, hippie kind of shit. You know, like that's cool to me. But I could see a lot of people just being like, oh, get on with it.
Stop staring at each other for so goddamn long.
And then there's obviously people who like when it goes to like Mandy, when it's like crazy buck wild, I spit on your grave kind of revenge awfulness. It's like, this is too much. So like it's hard. You have to like, it's really up to the person. I mean, I dug both parts of it. I felt like that kind of like slow like build to it. Well, it's like it's a slow build and then like off the cliff, really. Yeah. And like I like that a lot, but I could see other people being like not hot on it.
The first hour,
or being like, I like the second half, but not the first half.
The first hour gets a little long, but I feel like it's purposeful just to make the second half more extreme. But I gotta say, I watched that movie twice in theaters, and that scene where it's Mandy and the cult leader looking at each other and their faces are like morphing together.
That's awesome.
It's cool, but I still have no idea what he said during the scene. I just kept spacing off because he was just talking about his philosophy as a cult leader. And I was just like,
That's the thing, like a lot of like cult movies where like it doesn't really matter what the dude's philosophy is, because it all like goes back to his own like
it
egocentrism.
goes back to a guy with God complex.
Yeah, so like I never like, whenever I see a movie about cults or a cult leader, it's never like, oh, what's this? Maybe this guy's got a fucking point. So I was like, no, this guy's crazy. And he's just monologuing because he loves to hear himself talk.
Yeah.
That's for me personally. I usually don't deal well with cult movies, but this worked for me fine. I think because he gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's why that first hour just really was like really fucked up for me personally. And I was like, this is but yeah, I think I asked that question also because I think moments for it just feel a little bit too self-indulgent for me. Like I don't know, it just felt like moments just felt like pandering. It didn't work for me. Yeah. I think the big metal
is that more in like the first or the second?
That's
half?
the second half.
Okay.
When they're like, now we have Nicolas Cage and he can just cheese
Cage.
Camera and everyone's gonna lose their shit, and I did.
Like it's fun, but I think when I'm walking into this movie, I was just really hoping that that stuff would be a little bit more subtle. Like it's just fucking Nicolas Cage grinning to the camera, covered in fucking blood, doing cocaine. Yeah. Like
that. To be fair, that's the last scene.
Yeah, sure. And like he fucking forges his own fucking metal. What was it? A scythe?
Some weird.
Awesome.
That was.
There's a big scythe with a big knife on the end. Of the
I want revenge, but I want it to be fucking metal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man. And he's fucking wearing his fucking aviators while he's doing it too. Damn.
I wish I loved revenge so much that I would make my own weapon.
Bangs. I love this movie.
This movie fucks. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I think I'm just like not. I might be a stick in the mud.
Again, like I feel it really is like the person. And like, I'm not gonna like shit on someone's thoughts of like one way or another, because this is like a divisive kind of film. You know what I mean? I kind of like choked to death halfway through.
Yeah, you did.
What if you just started vomiting macaroni?
That's the other thing. I didn't love the cheddar goblin.
Oh, okay, you can actually leave.
No, that's across the line. All right, guys.
Carrie and her cheddar goblin hat, which is
Cheddar
on
Goblin
George's
is
table.
my new favorite thing. I love him so much. It's so funny.
But yeah, I don't know.
He's a little too gross.
Excuse you?
It's just mac and
What
cheese.
the fuck?
Give it
It's
up
got
a-
60% more chease. Are you about to say that's too much cheese?
That is too much
What
cheese.
is wrong with you?
If I want to eat a block of fucking cheese, I'll eat a block of fucking cheese.
I would also like to say I ordered the merch pack that they were selling to go with this movie because you couldn't just buy the hat. You had to buy this like party pack.
Yeah.
And it came with a bunch of stuff, and it came with a box of cheddar goblin macaroni, and it's very clearly just a box of Kraft mac and cheese that they printed the label off and taped on the outside, and it's fucking hilarious.
Did you at least? Please tell me you preserved the box and like.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not
Okay,
gonna
good.
eat it.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, George, about it being possibly too indulgent on the Nicolas Cage front. But as someone who still finds Nicolas Cage just as hilarious,
That's fair.
It's just very funny. And also the environment that I was watching it in, I told Ryan about this a little bit, because I saw it at like a 1-day early screening, and it was packed. And everyone there was super fucking jazzed about Nicolas Cage, and that during the montage that they played of all the like Nicolas Cage moments before the movie started, everyone was just like dying, laughing, and cheering. And so there was just a ton of interaction with the movie once it was happening, like the scene where he like breaks that guy's neck and turns around, it's like ugh, at the camera, everyone like applauded and cheered, and it was fucking incredible.
Gotcha.
So there was just really good energy in the theater when I was watching it for the first time, so that probably helped me think of it more fondly.
Yeah.
Even when I saw it with you, Carrie, the second time, the theater was only like half full, but like when it like did that switch, people were losing their minds, and it really like helped the energy. Mm-hmm. And I'm someone who like I'm not a Nicolas Cage kind of person. Like I've seen quite a few of like his good movies, and I'm just like, this guy just has a mental problem. We need to like stop having him do cocaine.
Or have him do more cocaine.
You see, that's
off
the thing.
Of a big piece of glass. From
That's
the
the
broken
thing.
table.
This still like took that craziness to like a level where I'm like, you know what? I'm on board this one time. He did that extra line of cocaine that really sold his performance.
This part where he's beating that guy up, he's like, "You ripped my shirt! You ripped my shirt!" This movie's hilarious.
Which is like he just eats that, just takes his head, just dips it in that gray
in
goo.
the fucking goop that turned
He
those
just,
guys
like-
into demons.
And he's like, this will be good. Man,
Fucking
this movie's
great
crazy.
movie.
It's already like on demand, right?
I know,
Yeah, it's coming out. I'm gonna rewatch it again just to see how I feel about it soon. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't speak to me as much as I wish it did. But that's fine.
I feel like if you're a Cage fanatic, then like you're gonna.
Like
have
I
a good
like
time
Nicolas
here.
Cage, but I think I find a lot of the memedom a little bit corny.
Yeah, same here. Carrie, come on.
He's a god.
Like I like him a lot, and I think like a lot of I still think the fucking Wicker Man is fucking great. Like him in a bear suit punching people, that's still good. But I think like the stuff of like replacing his face with other shit, like all that stuff is corny to me. Yeah, see,
Chill.
and then, okay, that's fine. So
No, I thought you were chalking shit on Face Off.
no, absolutely not.
Not the memes or whatever.
Face
But
off.
I want to take his face off. His face off.
Yeah.
That's a fucking.
No, yeah, that's
classic.
fine. That's fine. But like, I think, yeah, the sort of culture that it just like it gets too close.
It's very easy.
It gets
to just
close.
Be
Yes.
Like, funny Nicolas Cage.
It gets like
Here it
Deadpool
is.
humor close to me
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, that's fair.
But I still think it is good. I hope I feel strongly about it the second time. But yeah, is there anything else to say about Mandy? Like I said, this is the highlight of the fucking month for us.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I will say I'm glad it lived up for everyone else because
Yes.
like there was a lot of hype for this one, so I'm glad it lived up. Yeah.
Now, Carrie, I still am gonna see this with you, Carrie.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's already getting removed out of theaters, so you better do it
Shit.
quickly.
God,
Yeah.
Carrie,
Let's go right now.
We need to leave as soon as this podcast finishes.
No, I think it's more sequestered to afternoon screenings now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And you're talking about Hellfest.
Hellfest.
CBS is fantastic horror product. God,
Thank you, CBS.
It sounds like just the fucking like a local like Halloween thing, like welcome to Hellfest.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much what it is in the movie.
That's great. So only you saw this, kid.
This is just the Goosebumps fucking horror land.
But
fucking...
they say fuck, I think.
Yes.
Hell yeah. What if Goosebumps fucked?
It's a bunch of horny teenagers.
What if R.L. Stine wasn't a coward?
Yeah.
But
I'm down for horny teenagers, but is this a PG-13 film?
No, it's R. So, which I think
is this like Friday the 13th levels of horny, the remake? Ryan, you saw it.
Oh yeah, watching the Friday the 13th remake with George and our mutual friend Greg, it just feels like watching porn with other dudes.
Yes. There was a lot of fucking in that movie.
Oh yeah,
it was like, is this like? We realized afterwards, like, oh, that's the unrated cut. Okay,
yeah.
We were like, this,
but still, like, that's a lot of fucking.
There was a lot of fucking in that movie. But anyways, so Hellfest.
Hellfest.
Is there anyone like any actor of note in CBS's Hellfest? Probably not.
The girl is from
she was
not
from
one
of those MTV shows.
Scream.
Yeah.
They are a trans. They came out as trans. So I think they go by they now, but I'm not. I don't want to quote.
I don't even know who you're talking about. I just heard someone say that.
They have a very like punky.
But were they not
the short-haired
person? Yeah.
They play a female in this movie.
Okay.
Okay, so that's before transition.
Well, they haven't transitioned. I think I just read somewhere that they came out as trans.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So any director of note that they did anything like a music video that was
Gregory Plotkin is his name.
Gregory Plotkin.
That is the
if
name.
he is not 87, I'm gonna be very surprised.
Jesus Christ.
But
Ryan's looking that up.
But yeah, basically.
Give me the rundown on what this movie is about while I look up some more information.
So this group of friends, well, there's two best friends, and the one best friend doesn't come around very often, and then the other best friend is living in the house with this other friend who doesn't get along with the childhood best friend. And they all hang out, and then they're gonna go to this super exclusive horror theme park. The tickets sold out instantly, but this hot boy got them VIP passes.
This is that.
So they go inside, and there was a news story about how a couple weeks ago at a different haunted attraction, a girl was killed and left inside the park, but no one noticed because they thought she was one of the props. And so they're all talking about that, and they go into the park, and they go through this one haunted house, and they see this girl get fucking stabbed, and she like runs in, and this guy is like following her, and they're being all I'm a person in a haunted house and I'm trying to play it cool, and they're like she went that way, and then he pulls her out and stabs her in front of him, and they're like, wow, that looked really real. And then the one childhood friend girl is like, I don't know, guys, that seemed a little too real. And then the guy is like following her all night. And it's just the exploits of these teens going around this park, trying to mend their friendships and trying to date each other and being followed by this masked killer.
Is it entertaining, Gary?
It was fairly entertaining.
Yeah?
More entertaining than I thought it would be, because I was surprised. I didn't know going into it that it was rated R, so when first guy gets murdered by the killer, like slamming him with one of those big, bong ding, big hammers, he like smacks him and his head explodes, I was like, oh!
This sounds alright then, maybe.
It was pretty fun. Like, it's nothing like crazy fun on the gore front. Like, if you took like about 5 minutes out of the movie, you'd have a PG-13. But it was still fun.
Okay.
So the director of this movie also made Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension.
Oh, nice!
And I'd just like to clarify, the actor Bex Taylor Kloss is non-binary, not trans.
Oh, okay.
But they go by they them.
Okay.
Just so I don't
they played a lady in this film who was referred to
every
as
time
she
I've
within
seen
the film.
every time I've seen them, because they're in Scream and they play I think
apparently
bisexual.
Scream is still going on, according to you.
According to apparently they were gonna reboot the third season, but they haven't. They filmed it, but apparently it's just not coming out or whatever. I don't know. It's weird.
So you're saying it is actually entertaining?
I've heard from a lot of people this movie is actually kind of good.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's fun. And the dialogue is bad because it's very, very people trying to be cool at a haunted house, which is a very specific tone of voice that I've realized that I hate a lot, and I don't know why. But it's also like them like being combatively quippy with each other, and it's fun.
Is it better than Truth or Dare?
Yes.
Okay, that's still
You're a liar.
That's still a highlight for me, honestly.
Truth or Dare
2018
was bad.
Blumhouse's
Truth or Dare. It did.
That's
this
on
doesn't. This
There was
doesn't
a funny tweet that Netflix was like, The Shining and Truth or Dare are coming. It's like, those are two very different movies that are coming to your service.
Good picks.
Good picks.
But
Get scared. It's all
yeah, and the ending of this was just fucking hilarious. So I'm excited for the inevitable Hellfest 2, which we'll probably be seeing here soon.
Hell fucking yeah.
Based on the ending.
I don't think CBS has ever made a sequel to any of their movies.
Aw, damn it!
So
I just like to say, you could have, if you pre-ordered this movie on Fandango, you would get a free shirt with shipping and handling. It had their logo.
Very
and
ugly.
the logo for this movie fucking sucks. It's just it's just the font with like a bunch of like. Let me try to get it for you. I'm just making sure I'm getting all this stuff right.
But yeah, a lot of the stuff that this movie does well is playing with the paranoia aspect of the girl being like, no, there's a guy following me, and all the people working there being like, no, that's just an employee. No, that's part of his job. Yeah, exactly. And the security guard she gets like attacked in the bathroom. And the security guard's like, no, like, there was no...
I like how you're getting a lot of fucking
I was about
concerts
to say, like, we're getting a lot of, like, concerts
Oh,
and, like...
yeah, you gotta do, like, Hell Space Fest. Because Hellfest is, like, a rock...
It's like Watch Dogs.
festival.
Not Hell Rest, Hellfest.
Hell Rest.
Oh, Hell Rest.
There you go. It's just like...
And I'm still getting into the concert, though.
It's fine.
It's not worth it.
Well, that's a lot more positive than I expected, Carrie.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like a good movie, but it's better than I thought it would be.
Are you in some way disappointed then? In some ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy when I'm watching a movie that's just a complete failure, because that's just
Which is what you
funny,
expected.
Which is what I thought it was gonna be. But I mean, I was happy that it wasn't terrible. And there's some fun gore in it.
Well, that's Hellfest. I will maybe watch it.
Here's a very compressed picture of
that's
the...
like
that's much better.
That's like the crew.
Good shirt.
I forgot.
That looks like the Saw production company logo.
I just love how like it has the date of the movie under it, where it's like Hellfest, September 28th. Like, what does that mean? Was that something you went to on the? Was that like an event?
Right, because you don't know. Hellfest the movie.
No, what?
No.
That could be any movie.
Hellfest.
Oh man, I went to Hellfest too. I saw fucking Avenged Sevenfold.
No.
From a producer of The Walking Dead.
God, that's so funny. From a producer of The Walking Dead. Like, I know people make a lot of fun of that. It's some weird like B movie. It's like from the producer who saw Shrek. It's some movie, like some B, like Pixar, DreamWorks knockoff.
They used to do that a lot more
And the top thing is
often.
like, from a producer who saw Shrek.
That's funny. Is that a joke? It seems like a joke.
Yeah, it seems like a
I
joke.
think it's like an actual thing. I'm not certain, but I've seen that a lot on the internet for like many years. But this is like, I think this is funnier. From one guy who worked on The Walking Dead, a show that no one likes anymore.
Still trucking though.
Because it's objectively bad.
Does your family still watch it?
My mom does. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that's Hellfest. I'm glad it turned out all right. I might watch it at some point then.
Yeah.
Next movie, Assassination Nation. You guys were down on this before we even saw it last month. I thought it looked okay, and I thought
it might be all right.
So
Brian is so excited.
Yeah, so excited.
So what's the setup for this movie? I've seen 2 trailers. One of them told me nothing. It
Did
just
you
looked
not
cool.
see it with us?
No.
Oh, that's right. Look
So,
at
yeah,
you. Fuck.
So it's something about a video is sent or
Basically,
something.
it's
in this like small town.
It's in Salem, and there's these
Ah.
sporadic information leaks. Like it starts with like a mayor or something. He gets all of his files released.
Yeah.
And then it just trickles down, and it ends up
It
being
begins-
it becomes like waves of people. So it's like all these people got their information
Oh.
It
released.
begins with like the mayor like some photos of him like on the internet.
So it's a witch hunt to trying to figure out who is leaking all this shit. Is that what the movie's about?
Kind of.
Pretty much,
It's
for the most part.
It's mostly
That's part of it.
Everyone in Salem.
Yeah.
It's a witch hunt.
It's sort of like everyone's personal information is out there, so people they find something out about someone, then like just everything turns where it's like they found out the truth about someone and they're like, I'm gonna fucking get you, bitch.
And then it just goes full like
Spring Breakers.
What?
I don't know why. That's the vibe I got from that movie.
It just goes like
Purge is honestly like a pretty like accurate.
Yeah, that's
thing.
pretty accurate because everyone just.
Like, I was trying to think
starts...
of something better, but like that's honestly
because it's not Heather's. Because it's not that smart.
Heather's.
It thinks the trailers all say it's like Heather's meets the Purge.
It's pretty much just the Purge.
Yeah,
really.
It's very the Purge. Just when everyone is so paranoid about their information getting leaked, and once their information does get leaked and they find out stuff, everyone just goes full. We have to kill everyone, and everyone starts beating each other up with baseball bats. And it's like,
weird.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds like an Eli Roth joint. By the way,
yeah.
by the way, real quick note. I don't know. So maybe you can fact check. Ryan is our fact checker. You're official. That's an official job. But someone told me that Eli Roth directed The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Can you look that up? Because that might have been a goof, but I also believe it because nobody will give Eli Roth a job anymore.
Alright.
Him and fucking Ricky Gervais hanging out, be like, "I'm a fucking triggering you, huh? I'm a fucking triggering you, man." Anyways,
I don't think Eli Roth.
Let's see. I'm putting money on this.
No.
Let's see.
He also directed The House with the Clock on Its Walls. His first non-horror film. Holy shit!
Told ya. Got it.
Okay.
How is that not in the trailers?
Is that playing why would they put that in the trailer for this kids movie?
For
Are you fucking
Whoa, my
kidding
gosh!
me? like it would make me want to see it, but me as a dad, I would be like,
M. Night Shyamalan in front of the fucking Avatar movie.
They didn't. Yeah, but then they didn't put M. Night Shyamalan anywhere on After Earth.
That is true.
No.
Not even now. Like now that he's back.
All right, there's a 10:40 showing of The House with the Clock in Its Walls tonight.
Okay, so that wasn't a goof. Anyways, Assassination Nation. Okay, so what is it about this? So obviously, it just seems like
the main is like these four girls.
Yeah,
they're like they have their own like little clique of like. Do they have like a cliche clique kind of thing to them, or are they just?
It just seemed like what old people from the trailer. It feels like what old people think millennials do all the time.
Yeah, maybe. It's like there's the one girl,
like,
the main girl,
really ironic.
Is this super like she's an artist type and she's all sex positive, which is good. That's fine because there's like a scene where the principal is like, you can't be just drawing pictures of your vagina all the time, and she's like, but I have to. It's my art. It's like, okay, but so it's her. And then the two girls who are sisters and never do anything. You remember?
They're sisters?
Yeah, well, not biologically, but by marriage, I'm pretty sure, because they live in the same house with the mom.
They do?
Yeah. Jeez, God. Brian, pay the fuck attention. So there's the main artist girl, the two girls who are sisters, which, as evidenced here, don't really have a lot to do in the movie, and you don't really know much about them. And then the character Bex, who is a trans girl, and she's dealing with her transition and everyone
being mean.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like some things that come along with that. And I liked her a lot. I think she was my favorite part of the movie. I thought she was.
So is it? I mentioned Eli Roth, and you said, "Yeah, that checks out." So is it?
Because it seems gratuitous
and
I'm like, wow, we're really digging into the edge now.
Sounds like Sucker Punch, but like The Purge instead.
Yeah, it's very much a lot like Sucker Punch and how it sucks.
Got him.
Yeah, I really want to hear Brian talk about this movie because I there are parts of this movie when it goes like full insane gore that I thought were very funny. And,
is it shot well? It looked stylish. Is it not?
It was pretty stylish. Yeah, there was some cool stuff with that.
They had like a few like interesting like ways they shot. Like the one thing that I kind of was into was the home invasion kind of thing. How they shot that with
there
the
was
long
like
take.
a long take of it was almost like a half circle around the outside of this house where the girls were up in this room and the mom was in this room and the camera was positioned outside of the house and it would like go from room to room and you would see people like come out of behind the curtains and like walk in through windows and it would just go from room to room showing the progress and they would be like texting each other and I thought that was really cool. That was a cool sequence. But so yeah, I don't have any super strong feelings about this movie. I thought it was all right. There were parts of it that I thought were fun, but I think it thinks that it's saying a lot more than it is, and I think that it there's some iffy things in it.
All right, Ryan, what's your issue with it?
So the thing with this movie and me is like I watch it and like this feel like it tries to be this like female empowerment kind of like revenge thing.
I'm so glad you're here to say
it has this vibe of like if I wrote it as like a fucking white guy.
Yeah.
Like
and
Eli Roth.
And it was written and directed by a white guy who doesn't know that.
So it's like
so as much as I want to care about what this transgender character is talking about, like transgender rights and what this young female girl is talking about her sexuality, wanting to embrace it. It's all through this filter of this guy who thinks he's fucking woke and thinks he knows what's cool with the teens and the millennials, but he doesn't know fucking shit. And these kids just sound weird, like they're just trying to monologue in these weird
like some
Tumblr GIF-esque moments where it's like, we want people to talk about this movie, but not talk about it. Just like share GIFs on it online. So like, this movie, it really says a lot. I don't know, I've never seen it, but it's great. Because it said this one thing, and out of context, that's cool. But when you filter that back into the film, it just is just noise that it's trying to like create.
Yeah, there's parts where it explores like trials and tribulations of being a woman and like sexual assault and stuff like that, and that is an issue that they don't handle very well because they bring it up and they talk about it, but it's still the way that it's presented in the film still feels a bit exploitative. Like,
is it like fetishized a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like it's not pain coming from an authentic place. It just seems like
it's just edgy? Like we want people to like look at this thing and like get their like project their own thing onto it, make it like vague enough for them to be like, oh, this.
It sounds like bad kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly.
That movie's a bad time.
It's a very bad time. Oh, yikes. But yeah, okay, that checks out because that's what I felt like it tried to be like in with the. That's why I said. It felt like to me what adults think millennials do because it's trying to be really trendy.
That.
It's trying to be very trendy
and
from just the trailers.
It's just like when it like goes there, it just feels like nonsense because everyone's getting their shit leaked, and I don't understand why.
The dark web.
It's not. It's just like they all like. I think it all goes through 4chan or some shit like that. Where does it all go to?
People will get the. On their phones, they'll be like, "Oh, the leak happened today," and then when they open it, it's like a zip file on their phones. So I don't really know. It's probably some sort of forum or something.
It's so weird, and it's like if everyone in this town actually got hacked, that is too much fucking information for them to all fucking filter it and target these 4 girls.
Yeah,
because it's like they all like target these girls because they think that they are the cause of all this, even though like. That doesn't make any fucking sense, but like it tries to be like, oh, they're just blaming them because fucking women, am I fucking right?
And there's the part too where that one other side character is like, once the leaks started happening, I was tracing everyone's data outputs from their houses, and this girl, hers was a lot higher than everyone else's. So they start
4 people live in that house. Why would they target her exclusively?
Well, they don't all live
because she has her 2 parents and her brother.
Yeah, that's true. And it was very obvious that it was the brother from the beginning. But anyway.
What do you
think? but yeah.
Well, that sounds like a bad time, honestly.
I absolutely hated
It sounds
every
bad.
single thing about this film. Every time someone spoke, it was just nonsense. The violence was so like people have a problem with it reminds me of, like, the Tomb Raider argument. Like, in Tomb Raider 2013, like, she does her first kill, and that's, like, a big, like, emotional thing. Right. And then she goes straight to killing. The same fucking thing happens here. Like, the first like main girl like kills someone, and then it's like this big thing, and then like the next minute, all 4 of them are mowing down people. Like they just don't give a shit. Especially like the 2 side characters. One of them was the girl from the Bad Batch. I don't know what the other girl was.
Oh, Cookie Waterhouse.
Yeah. And like they're just like they do nothing in the film really besides that they have the house that they all hang out at. And when shit starts going down, they just pick up guns and just start mowing people down. And it's like whatever. And then like I really hated the conclusion with the transgender girl's arc, where like she has this moment with this guy that she almost hooked up with at a party, but that didn't work out because of those issues. And then like it's just so weird. It just doesn't feel none of it feels like actual people. Like they're fine with like everyone else dying, but this guy is like, oh, you can just go, it's fine. And just like it's so weird. Like there's no like logic to like the actions of these people. It's like, let's kill people, but killing's bad. But and then like the police get on it, where it's like, again, if this happened, like so like that would be so many more repercussions from it. Where like, but like it ends in a way like everything's fine now. We all fucking killed a lot of people, but everything's fine. Also, Joel McHale's in this movie.
And God, his death scene, sublime.
How did he die again? I forget.
When she, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but the main girl has a thing with Joel McHale in this movie, and she goes
Daddy.
to his house she calls him Daddy. It's like, who in their right mind, when hiring someone to be referred to as Daddy throughout the film, is like, I'll hire Joel McHale. No, but so she's at his house hiding out once shit is kind of hitting the fan. And he starts getting creepy, so she runs into the bathroom and like slips, and there's a dead body in the tub, and he's like knocking on the door, and he's like, I know how it looked, I didn't kill her, I didn't do it. But so then she's hiding in the bathroom, and she takes a bar of soap and takes a bunch of his loose razor blades and puts the blades facing out on the bar of soap, and then when he walks in, she slices his throat, and he like falls on top of her, and like blood was going all over her face. Very reminiscent of that scene from Mandy where Nicolas Cage does the same thing. That was much better.
You reminded me of another thing in this movie that I really just hate. Since social media and like texting is like so important for like the teen like kind of culture, I hate how this film interprets texting, like how it reads that information to you. It's just like in Personal Shopper, you just see the phone. In other movies, it like
when the texts show up on the screen.
In other movies, the text shows up as like a text message would look like. In this movie, it's just text on the screen. It's like, but it's also like in the middle of the screen, so it's like, Daddy, what you doing, baby girl? Like in the middle of the screen in this ugly yellow font that like is, well, like yellow doesn't work because it like doesn't mix well with the backgrounds most of the time. So just like it kind of is like hard to read sometimes. It's just like, why wouldn't like this is a teen movie? Just make it look like a text message, or just show me the fucking cell phone. Why does it look in this fucking weird like Arial font in the middle of the thing? Do I have to like, Daddy? Okay, thank you. I get it. She's weird. I should. And again, like another thing, like with her, the main character's arc with me is the movie keeps trying to like make you like feel bad for her, but she does so much bad shit, and she just like things like, I'm a kid, bah! Like you're still an asshole. Like you should like you're still putting yourselves in these situations where you have the option to not be a dick, and she's just being a dick the whole time. Like the scene where her parents kick her out, that's very harsh, but like I don't get why they would do that. Cause like if I had a daughter and I found that out, I would be mad at the adult.
Yeah.
Not my daughter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kick my daughter. I would go over to Joel McHale's house and break his fucking teeth for fucking sending pictures of his dick to my daughter.
For having
For also being Joel McHale.
that too.
I'm back for round 2, bitch.
Just the whole.
And then like it tries to make it, and then they just vanish again. And then at the end of the movie, it's like, well, our son did it.
For the lulz.
Oh my god. Our friend Alex like made a joke like he was gonna say full of lulz.
Greg did the same thing.
I know. But like the thing is, I 100% knew he was going to say that. Like, when they cut to him, I was like, he's gonna say it's for the lulz, because of course he fucking would. This is the laziest fucking writing I've ever experienced. So why would it go out there and have, like, a reasoning for it? Or even a phrase that's kind of, like, interesting. No, for the lulz. It's like I'm watching fucking Smiley again. Remember Smiley, Carrie?
I do.
Well, I'm gonna end the conversation there.
I could talk about this movie for hours.
Well, you still have to talk about Venom, but
I'm gonna get him.
I'm just gonna play "Kamikaze" by Eminem now. The idea of Joel McHale in a dominant sexual relationship is just very upsetting. It's just not
if you
great.
watch the movie again and you figure, like, you don't find out that he's the daddy that she's texting until later in the movie, and so if you go back and look at those texts again, it's like, ugh, Joe McHale's saying this. Also, that girl was dating Bill Skarsgård, and she was like, nah, I'm gonna cheat on him with Joel fucking McHale. What? Like, Bill Skarsgård was a fucking dick in this movie, but still.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, Ryan, I'm gonna be real for you here.
Okay.
Venom is probably the most forgettable movie of 2018. And so,
yeah, probably.
I'm sure you have a lot of things to say about Venom.
So this is
But
like,
also,
this is
I don't
movie-
care about Venom.
This is a movie from October.
Yes.
I just wanted to get it out of the way with because I will forget.
Sony
Everything
Pictures,
about this movie.
Avi Arad.
The director of Zombieland.
Oh, that makes sense with
Yeah.
what you told me.
Yep. So it's the Venom. Venom
Origin story.
Venom
quote
an
unquote.
origin story, but like reworked to not include the central character of which his origin story was about. That's like if you were telling the story of like my upbringing, but like he didn't have parents. He just kind of came out of nowhere and was 18. You know,
Miter Sands.
Something
like that. you know.
So I always thought that Venom was the guy that Tobey Maguire turns into in the third Spider-Man movie.
So
Please tell me why I am wrong.
Symbiote.
So how it plays out regularly is Spider-Man, he shoots webs from his like web slinging like things and stuff, and he gets this alien like symbiote on him, and he gets this new suit that he becomes stronger and he can like kind of manage his life better. But then he kind of, because this alien is like messing with him internally, it doesn't like speak to him literally like it does in the Venom movie, which I hate. And I overheard someone at work today be like, the best parts of Venom, the movie, is when he was talking with the alien.
I mean, he talks to him in the comics. It's not like a neutral relationship. It's not like, it's clearly, but it's just like, we are Venom.
Yeah, it's that. But in regular, like, Spider-Man, like, he gets this suit on him, and then he, like, realizes that it's driving him, like, insane slowly, and it's, like, becoming, like, a dick. And he's like, I don't want this. And so, like, he takes it off, and it eventually finds a way to Eddie Brock. Who is a reporter
Who works with Peter.
And he also hates Peter, and Venom, the symbiote, gets on Eddie Brock. And they're like, I hate Peter Parker, you hate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's fucking kill this
Together,
guy.
we are Venom.
I see.
And the way Venom looks and his powers are all because he got on Spider-Man and got those powers.
So you were thinking of symbiote Spider-Man. Symbiote Spider-Man.
So in this,
I apologize.
So in this movie, it begins with rocket ship coming back to Earth. They were on an expose mission.
That checks out.
And they're like, we picked up this asteroid. There's life forms on it. Whoa! And then this experimental.
Go on.
God.
All right.
Get on, Mr. Venom!
All right. So spaceship. The aliens on there.
The aliens
symbiotes on there.
This organization called Life is like, which like is this organization like we can cure cancer with this, but also we want to kill people with this Venom suit.
Classic.
And they have these 4 symbiotes. 2 of them just fucking die. Doesn't matter. One of them.
Wait a minute.
One of them gets.
Ryan,
fucking,
are they? I don't like where it's going. Are they teasing like a Carnage thing? Where are you going?
Wait up there, baby boy, baby. So it ends up with the main villain gets symbiote, who becomes Riot, and then the one Eddie Brock, he's a pro in this organization, and before the symbiote stuff happens, they're known for a lot of bad experiments that just end up using mostly homeless people as cheap guinea pigs.
That checks out. 2018.
And then he only finds out because he hacks his like fiance's computer. She's a lawyer who works for them, and he's like, they're doing bad stuff. I'm gonna get them. And then he goes over there's like, get fucking out of here. We don't owe you anything. He's like, but I got you. And then his fiance Michelle Williams, who
she's back again.
she's back again.
Is
and
she sad in this movie?
No.
Oh, what?
She just like it really feels. This is the first time I've ever seen Michelle Williams in a movie where I was like, she just wanted the money, didn't she? Which is crazy, but also like I get it. We all want that Venom money. And so like several months later, he gets told by Jenny Slate of all people that like, they're doing some bad stuff over there. He's like, I don't care. They ruined my life. I'm not going back there. And then he walks to Michelle Williams' house, and she's like, I have a boyfriend. I was like, I care about what that organization is doing. I'm gonna go now. Okay, bye. And then he breaks in, and the Venom symbiote gets on him, and he gets all his new powers.
Okay.
And it fucking sucks, man. And what's weird,
it looked so good.
No, the weird thing with this is like the critical consensus is like very bad. Feels like an old, like, late 90s, early 2000s movie, but, like, I see a lot of people, I'm like, fuck the critics, this is a fun movie. But
there's not as many as there usually is, I feel.
I've heard way too much.
Really?
Maybe it's just
Maybe they just like the song Venom.
I don't think anyone does.
Well, I don't know. Donna Joe liked Kamikaze. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
That's the album that the song is from.
Oh.
From the same album.
Okay. So
the one where he continues to use the F word to describe people who are gay.
Oh,
Oops.
yeah, that F word.
Uh-oh.
Classic Eminem, that crazy guy.
So my issue with, like, the characterization of Venom is,
right.
First off, Eddie Brock, well, Tom Hardy for one, I keep forgetting he's English, because I'm so used to him being in movies where he doesn't talk, and when he does, it's like
he's
filtered
just a tough
through.
guy.
It's filtered through like some sort of like thing on his head.
Or he's Mad Max. And he says like 3 things. Yeah.
But he speaks a lot in this movie, and his American accent is absolutely terrible.
Oh boy.
It's just like, oh, it feels so good, man. What are we doing? Oh, it's Venom. Oh, crazy, man.
Now I have to see.
Venom gets on him, and he just talks to him like, Eddie, let's do this, Eddie.
And that's Venom.
Come on, Eddie. And like he like comes down, like, we can do it, brother. Let's
that
go,
checks out. This all checks out.
And he just is like this weird tweaker, like, I'm going crazy. I gotta eat a bunch of lobsters. And it's just weird. And
so the thing is, like, Ryan, do you think
sounds
maybe
hilarious.
the thing is, because you're describing it, maybe Venom the character just fucking sucks, but the story of the symbiote and Spider-Man and Venom, that's a good story.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
If you take out a piece of any story
Yeah.
on its own, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
If you took out the part of Willy Wonka where he was just, fucking homeless, basically, as everyone had polio, and that was it. It sucked. It'd just be weird and sad. It's good
movie.
because of the other
Good
stuff.
movie.
But my main issue with Venom is there's no like objective throughout the first like hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like he gets the symbiote and he's just being chased by the Life Foundation because they want the symbiote back. And he's just killing people in like broad daylight in front of police officers, just like ripping people's heads off. But you don't see it because it's PG-13. But Venom is like, I love eating heads, Eddie. I love eating the pancreases, Eddie. And he's like, come on, man. Just like calm down. Just 1 second, man. Come on. And it's not until the
So is Eddie like played as a good person?
he's played off. They say it a lot. He's just a loser. He's just this guy who like, because he originally like has this monologue and it was like, I was in New York, but like it didn't go well for me, so I came to LA and like I married Michelle Williams, but then she dumped me because I stole her emails and got her fired. I'm just a loser, you know what I'm saying? And it keeps like this guy who like could make those decisions to be good, but just like life shits on him. That's how the movie paints him. And towards the end, you find out that the head of the Life Foundation has this other symbiote on him. Is like, first off, there's a scenario where Venom gets off of him and he's like, you were killing me from the outside. The doctors told you we were the MRI. First off, as someone who's worked in the hospital for 4.5 years, this movie has no fucking idea how an MRI machine works. there are so many electronics and metal devices in that MRI room. They walk in with a bunch of weapons and shit. Just does not work out.
That's not,
It's just weird. It's just weird. Anyway, so it gets off him and he like starts running in the woods of all places, and he gets hunted down by the life people, and they're like, "We're gonna kill you, Eddie." And he's like, "I don't have the suit." "Well, we're still gonna kill you." And then the Venom suit got on Michelle Williams, became She-Venom. Remember She-Venom?
Oh.
No, I don't remember.
In the comics, She-Venom was just Venom, but it was just big boobs.
I was gonna say.
Was this like was this the 90s?
This was the 90s.
Oh man! Shout out to the 90s.
And She-Venom in this movie looks exactly like She-Venom from the comics, and not in a good way. In a very like, this is very sexualized.
She got the big boobs.
She's got a big boobs and a big
shout
old
out to the
badonk.
90s.
Nice.
And then it has that weird moment where She-Venom, which is Michelle Williams with Venom, like kills the bad guys, and then She-Venom kisses Tom Hardy, and Venom moves from her to Tom Hardy, and he's like, "We're back, baby boy."
Sounds awesome.
That's the scene?
That's the scene.
People's made it sound a lot more like not that.
They did, yeah, but it's
They
still...
made it sound less heterosexual.
It's still very weird, and there's a part in the end where they're talking about it. It's like, that was mostly your friend doing that. It's like, okay, whatever. That's weird, but it's because it's just this black like monster with tits just kissing Tom Hardy, so it still is weird.
Nice.
And then it moves from a black monster with tits to a black monster with biceps kissing a woman. It's just weird. And then after that happens, Venom tells Tom Hardy, he's like, "Oh, Eddie, the riot, it's going to the riot. He's going to get his spaceship. He's going to go to the space. He's going to bring a bunch more symbiotes to go take over the planet, Eddie." And he's like, "But wait, wouldn't you want that to happen?" He's like, "No, Eddie, I like it here, just you and me. You see, on my planet, I'm a bit of a loser like you, Eddie. So I don't want them to be down here. Let's take them out." He's like, "All right." And that's it.
Is she called Anne in this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the name of the character
Yeah.
in the...
There's a scene where Venom tells Eddie that he's a loser on his planet, and that's why he's going to stop.
I just love the way that the name Eddie sounds in that text.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Apparently she was in Spider-Man Unlimited.
Probably. So he takes that fucking riot, and like they're like, we're gonna stop the bad guys, but like we will kill them because like we're cool. And the Carnage stuff, that's the end credit sequence. Now I'm gonna spoil this for people because it's fucking stupid. It's one of those end credit scenes where like it goes on for way too fucking long.
I heard that it was really long. Yeah.
He goes to like a prison and he like is, "I'm gonna interview this guy, Cletus Cassidy." You know what I'm saying? And then he like walks forward and like he sees like he's just like drawing stuff in blood and he's like, "I'm fucking crazy when I get out of here." And then like he like leans forward out of the shadows and it's fucking Woody Harrelson in a fucking...
Oh my god.
He's like genuinely the worst wig I've ever seen. It looks like a mix between Annie and Wendy from Wendy's. Just put on his head. And he's like, "There's gonna be carnage when I get out of here, Eddie." But like he doesn't have the thing on him. Why would
he says it that anyway?
Yeah. But he said...
Is it in his brain?
No, it's not, because how Carnage is formed is like the symbiotes are like these asexual like alien things, and they just like kind of spawn off. And in the comics, they're like cellmates basically, if I remember this correctly. And Venom goes back to Eddie, and he leaves by this asexual symbiote, and that gets to Cletus Cassidy, who's this like psychopathic redneck hillbilly serial killer with a blood fetish,
which you get Woody Harrelson for.
Woody Harrelson,
and like that makes sense.
He has like. It gets into his blood, so he becomes this like blood red, disgusting Carnage of Venom, who's just like Venom, except he just kills even more or whatever. It's just fucking sucks. The best part of this movie is the late after credits scene is just a scene from Into the Spider-Verse, and it's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's super dope.
Nice.
It's when he first meets Peter Parker.
Nicolas Cage is in that movie.
Yes, he plays Spider-Man Noir.
He plays Spider-Man Noir.
I don't know what that means.
1930s Spider-Man. He just
Spider-Man.
punches people.
And he just sneaks up on people. He's like a spider. Like what? Like if it was like if they made Spider-Man back when they made Superman, where it's just like he's like stealthy like a spider, and it's all like
Anyways, Venom sucks, and no one can tell me otherwise.
Now I'm just looking at the art of Chuck Pyers, who's one of the artists for She-Venom, and this all checks out.
How it's just horny.
Do you think all those artists who drew shit in the 90s just probably have Patreons now?
Those same artists are the people who would have Patreons now. I think they got too much money because the 90s, like, the ones who were smart about it, they made a lot of money back then, and they are probably like.
Witchblade is Witchblade still a thing? Do you remember Witchblade?
It sounds so
That
familiar.
was a comic book by Top Cow. She's a lady with big boobs.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's September and one movie from October.
Thank you for reminding me about She-Venom. I completely forgot.
It sucks. It's just Venom with tits.
Thank you for Eminem for that wonderful song about
The
Venom.
song plays in the credits scenes, and it just sounds. It's worded as if Venom is singing the song, and it's so weird. I'm gonna get him. My name's Venom. I'm gonna fuck him up. That's it. That's the song.
funny.
It's pretty good.
My name's Eddie.
My name's Eddie.
Did you ever play the Spider-Man video game that was made by Activision? The one that was for 64, PlayStation, and PC. Because that one had a weird symbiote at the end of it where it was Doc Ock and the symbiote combined.
Oh, that sounds dope.
That was cool.
That sounds super
Anyways,
dope. I've not played that, no.
That's Venom. Yep, that's a movie that happened. I'm excited for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Same here.
So, Carrie, you have seen some stuff in October, but we're going to save that for the next episode. Maybe give me the chance to catch
A Star is Born and Bad Times at the El Royale. I'm seeing Star is Born tomorrow. I'm very excited.
I forgot Dakota Johnson was in Bad Times at El Royale, and I'm excited all over again. And she's in another thing that I'm excited about.
We'll
But
talk about that last.
First Man. What's First Man?
It's the new Damien Chazelle movie, guy who did Whiplash and La La Land. But
Oh, you're
it's
right. Yes, the space movie.
His
Neil Armstrong.
Right.
movie.
Doc movie with Claire Foy.
Yeah.
Back at it again.
She got out of the insane asylum.
And now it's the past.
Oh,
I
wait.
guess-
Uh-oh.
I guess we should probably say what A Star is Born is. So this is like the third or fourth remake of this
It's
myth?
the third.
Well, it's the third remake, I guess. It's the fourth
movie.
Okay.
There was one in the 30s who I do not remember who was in it. One in the 50s
Was Dolly
with
Parton
Judy.
in one of
No,
them?
one in the 50s with Judy Garland. One in the
okay.
70s with Barbara Streisand, and now in the today times with Lady Gaga.
The only choice.
Oh, of course.
I enjoy the only thing I want to see this movie because I love Lady Gaga. But the only thing I know apart from that is that fucking dumb trailer that's on Instagram that became a meme. The one where
I'm not
the
on
one
Instagram,
where,
so I don't know.
Okay, well it's the one where Bradley Cooper's in a truck and he's like, "Hey,"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I just want to look at you because boobs. Fuck.
One of my favorite comedians did a whole fucking. he like just watched that clip and he's like, he just played it over and over again. It's like, hey, I like your butt. Just did it over and over
but yeah,
again.
that's how that became a meme because the trailer on Instagram is just that clip. So,
Bad.
That's really funny. No, yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. Hey.
anyways, that's A Star is Born. Actually,
Bad Times at the El Royale.
didn't we talk about? I feel like we talked about that at some point in this podcast.
Drew Goddard.
Because
Cabin in the
at the
Woods.
beginning of like last episode or the episode before, you asked what we were excited for.
Oh,
the
right,
rest
yep,
of the
that
year,
is
and I
right.
said Bad Times at the El Royale.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm gonna say this again, even though I've said this about movies before. It's pretty Clue like and a little Hateful Eight like, which makes me like it a lot. 'Cause that's one of my favorites.
Is it Hateful Eight like and they keep saying the N word all over the time?
No.
Oh, okay.
That
I
is-
am not interested.
Dakota Johnson
I mean,
just
it's
dropping the N-bomb.
it's a bit of a racist movie at
Okay.
some parts, just because of the time that it takes place.
Just Quentin Tarantino busting out doors. Well, what the hell?
But yeah,
I'm a director, so I can say this, Ryan.
Yeah.
Everyone loves me. Anyways, Goosebumps.
Haunted Halloween.
I feel like the lead up to this was maybe it's because it's the sequel. It's not like they're making a Goosebumps movie, so that wasn't.
I
as
don't
big.
understand what this one's about.
yeah
I also feel like
Is
they
it just
blew.
more the
I
same?
didn't look at any material.
that's the
I didn't
thing.
even know what was coming
I
out.
feel like they blew their load with the first one
Yeah.
because they did like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And this one doesn't even have like Jack Black in it.
It doesn't?
No, I don't
sure
think
about
so.
that?
I'm pretty sure not.
I thought I saw a trailer. Maybe they just used old footage from the
I
last
think you
movie.
saw a trailer from The House with the Clock in its walls.
That might be
I
Eli
thought-
Roth's clock.
Jesus fuck, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, I have no idea what this movie's about.
Yeah, me either.
Remember in the first one when that girl was a ghost the whole time?
Remember had that kid from Don't Breathe?
Oh,
Yeah.
Babyface who wouldn't fucking die.
How?
I remember Goosebumps being okay, right? It was fine.
Yeah, I He was okay.
Oh, Jack Black is back.
Told
He's
you.
back.
I've not seen him in any of the
Jack's
it's just
back.
new people.
Jack's back, baby.
Chris Parnell.
Who?
He's a very funny guy.
How funny can he be?
Ken Jeong.
I was thinking about Ken Jeong earlier today.
Chris Parnell, you've definitely seen him before.
Ken Jeong showed up in an episode of Raw.
I-
That's why I was thinking about him.
He's in a lot of little things. He does a lot of voiceover stuff too. He's very funny. He has a voice you'd recognize. He's in Rick and Morty recently.
Oh boy.
Ah, great. I love
Rick and
Logic.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to watch that show.
No, I'm glad you realized that, Carrie. Later on to say. Ryan's a real...
It says Jack Black isn't it? Okay. It was
I like how you didn't believe it still.
All right.
Why would Jack Black be in this?
I like how our show notes is show like Goosebumps, Haunted, then next line Halloween, next line Halloween. Halloween 2018.
They remade it again, baby.
Not really.
All right, this is a sequel.
This is a sequel to the original with all the other
No,
movies.
it's a sequel to H2O.
No, just the original. They cut
Oh,
everything
they cut
else
off
out.
this? Okay.
Because H2O was originally this idea,
Oh.
but they're cutting that too.
Okay.
They're doing it again. Including Halloween 3. Off. It's not canon anymore.
Well, that sucks.
I know,
That's a
right?
good
I mean,
watch.
would it make any sense anyways? Anyways.
Halloween
So wait, so you're telling me this isn't a sequel? The 2 doesn't exist?
2 doesn't exist.
What?
Just the first one.
This is
I don't-
bullshit.
I don't
2
remember-
is like
I don't remember 2 at all.
2 is like direct sequel, like continue the
From
story.
what they have said, it's just the first one and then this one.
Well, they're cowards. That's what I gotta say.
Probably.
Anyways, Jamie Lee Curtis is back.
As someone who has recently rewatched the original Halloween,
a
I
great
am
movie.
actually excited for this.
Let me tell you what, those remasters of that movie do wonders for it. Because I saw original footage. It looks like they just shot it on a handycam. It looks fucking.
They probably did.
I mean, they probably did, but I'm just saying it looks a lot better now when it's been remastered so many times. In concept, I like. Listen, that music is very good.
It is very
It's
good.
very good music. If you just have some leaves in the wind and some like person walking down the street, that's good enough for me.
I'm just worried just because in the original Halloween, and like I didn't really like notice this until I rewatched. Like, it has those jump scary moments, but it doesn't have that sound, and it works very well. Like someone will just tap a shoulder and they'll like freak out and like, oh, it's just you.
Yeah.
Like that false jump scare, but it works well just because it doesn't have like, brr! And
have
like
the
from the
stinger.
from the trailers, it seemed like they're gonna do that, and like
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna like
The trailers don't make me really positive. Like, there's that scene where he goes to see Michael Myers and they're like on a fucking
They're on the
chessboard.
big chessboard outside.
I was like, all right, this fucking
It's
dweeby looking motherfucker.
From early showings, it's been rather positive though, so like I'm interested.
I'm sure it's fine. I just don't. Yeah.
There's that part where he drops all the teeth on the floor in the bathroom, and that's just icky.
And also, I don't like the Rob.
That's just unsanity.
I don't like.
Ew.
I don't like the Rob Zombie Halloween. Anyways.
I've never seen them.
And even though, like, the thing with the Rob Zombie Halloween, like, it's only really, it should be called Rob Zombie's Halloween the first 30 minutes, and then the rest he just shot for shot remade the last movie. Because it's just like
Because that one's just like the origins of like.
that's what he was
him.
interested in. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to expand on that. And he's
that,
like,
that is interesting.
here's
I
my
just-
wife, look at her tits. Because that's, Rob Zombie's really big into showing his wife's tits.
God, I would be the exact same way.
Okay. Anyways, the 90s.
Eddie.
Remember them?
Eddie.
The 90s. Remember the 90s?
I remember the mid '90s.
That's when we were.
I have no enthusiasm.
It was exactly when we were born. So I remember shit in a diaper. I
That
remember
was dope.
Pokemon just got on the air, and I was like,
That
this
was stupid.
fucking dare you.
Anyway,
I didn't know you were a nerd in the mid-90s.
so this
I was a
movie,
fucking child.
Nerd.
so this is a movie directed by Jonah Hill, correct?
Yep.
About
Writer director.
a writer and director.
Yep.
About a child who likes skateboarding and gets into a skateboarding group, and that's all I know about it.
Yep.
And there's
I
just
know,
a
I
lot.
know about it too.
What if Lady Bird fucking skates?
What if Lady Bird was about a dude and he liked to skateboard and it was a coming of age
Birdie
tale?
boy.
Birdie boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have any nostalgia for the 90s, so I have nothing for this.
I do have 90s kind of
I
like
don't like the
nostalgia,
music.
but I have no like.
I like the hip hop.
I don't like
God.
skateboarding. Like I never got into it.
The only reason I'm interested in this movie is because the main kid is also the son from The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and I'm excited to see him act like a human person.
So yeah, that's the thing. A lot of folks are looking forward to that, but
I don't know. It might be.
I'm sure it was fine. It's just like not my thing.
I think Jonah Hill could knock something out. He's been very good recently.
Maniac, a television show you can watch on Netflix.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know if it's really selling this message that great of mental illness.
Anyways, this next movie.
Speaking of mental illness.
I'm
Speaking
excited.
of Dakota Johnson.
I have tempered my expectations because I feel like that's the thing I should do. Normally, when I temper my expectations, I'm surprised. But this is the Suspiria remake made by Luca Guadagnino, something like that. The director of Call Me by Your Name, starring Dakota Johnson.
Mia
remake
Goth,
of
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Remake of Dario Argento's horror film. Which I haven't seen yet.
It's so good.
Which I want to.
It is very good.
Listen, Suspiria looks fantastic, but like I said, I'm tempering my expectations. So.
It's fine.
I hope.
Well, you don't have to temper your expectations for the original.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I want to try and they're showing it at Alamo. I want to try and get out there.
That'd be fun.
So yeah, I really hope it delivers. I guess now going back, there's not a lot of horror stuff, huh?
Nah.
Because Halloween,
Not really.
you got
There's
a Halloween
lot of
remake.
There's a lot of like horror TV shows dropping, like
Yeah.
Haunted Hill, Sabrina.
Charmed,
Yeah.
Castlevania season 2.
Yeah. Actually,
I haven't seen the first season.
I haven't either. I've heard it's good, but I
I'm
don't
worried
care.
about Suspiria because I've seen people comparing it to Mother, and I'm like, I don't want that.
No. I'm still like every time I feel like, oh man, people like that movie a lot.
I rewatched it recently.
How was that?
Bad
It's
still.
still annoying, yeah.
Was it less annoying that you were in your comfort of your home and you could like walk around?
Yeah. I didn't have to really fully pay attention.
Oh man, fucking hell. Anyways, that's an episode. That's the episode for September. We got some stuff in October. The Carrie already saw it, and I'll try and watch.
What
Actually,
are you most looking forward to?
I guess Suspiria, but I want to see the new Goosebumps movie, but I don't know. It just feels like it's coming
Do
out.
you think we're gonna get Suspiria this month?
It's
already. It's the finale of Alamo's Halloween thing.
Yeah.
They're doing like a special victory screening of it.
Ooh, we should
But-
go to that.
It's
probably already sold out.
Well, fuck.
But I'm sure it's coming.
Those are like usually the day before.
Yeah.
So
It'll probably come out in November.
Yeah.
So
It will probably.
and we're always late, so we'll probably watch
Yeah.
it by then.
It'll be
Yeah.
fun.
It'll be fun.
We're gonna get it.
It's gonna be fun.
So-
It's gonna be great.
Real quick, the things I wanted to say before we wrapped up. I saw Annihilation again. I think it's
Yeah.
very good. I still don't feel passionate about it, but I recognize it as pretty fucking phenomenal. I saw Ocean's 8. It's fun. It doesn't work like in terms of like if you like as a heist movie, like it's not very smart. Like it's just cool. It's got some cool ladies in it. They're cool. They're just being cool. Like it's just them flexing pretty much. For
I
the whole...
would watch that movie just for Anne Hathaway.
I feel like I have been like.
I feel the same way.
I feel
about Sarah
like I've been influenced because I've always thought Anne Hathaway was really cool. But now after that fucking Ellen interview, I think, man, fucking Anne Hathaway's like the coolest fucking lady on the planet.
People have. I've been here for years, and now everyone.
All these fucking fake fucking Anne Hathaway fans out here.
Now that Rihanna likes Anne Hathaway, now it's cool to like Anne Hathaway again. Whatever.
Yeah, Rihanna underused in that movie. She's not great.
Oh,
enough.
really?
She doesn't do much in that movie. But everyone else is great.
She's a busy woman.
That's fine.
I don't know.
I forget the actress because whoever played the lead prosecutor in OJ, The People vs. OJ, she's in this and she's fantastic.
Sarah
as well.
Paulson.
Sarah Paulson, yes.
Yeah, she's great.
She's great.
She's
anyways,
in another cult movie. We're talking about cult movies.
yeah, she's got that look. Anyways, that's all. That's an episode. Ryan, where can people find you to tell them so they could share their thoughts on Venom or like their Venom A and Bs? It's not about Venom, but they use the song Venom.
If you log on to the World Wide Web and type in http://Twitter.
Not S though. It's not secure.
Twitter. It's not secure. I'm using the internet. FBI, come at me. I'm eating food in front of my computer a lot, and you will see that. At Frying Pans on Twitter, or just like come to my house.
Come hang out.
Yeah, we could. You could get a beer. I'll be like hanging out with you. talk, just like hang out.
Carrie, where can people find you?
People can find me at Ryan's apartment drinking beer. No, you can find me at Twitter at KAR_E Lyles, LYLES.
And I'm George. You can find me at JCruzAlvarez26. If you could rate and review this show on iTunes, it would help us out a lot to maybe someday go in the Discover tab, but probably not. But I still appreciate it. That's an episode of Movies Are Real. Until next time, we will see you in October. And I forgot how to end the show, so see you then!
Go and get 'em!